to my channel. It's Ray. If you're new here, welcome. Today I am going to be answering a question from one of my viewers, and the question was, what are some good questions to ask a natural hair stylist before using them as a stylist? And I thought this was a really good question, because a lot of times when we go to stylists, we just call them up, book an appointment, we go in and we sit down in their chair and we let them do, you know, whatever they want to our hair. We feel like they're the experts and they know what they're doing, and then when we leave out, we're not always satisfied. Sometimes we're like, man, I should have said this, I didn't like how she did that, but we never did voice it, we never did ask any questions before we went, and so forth. So I thought this was a really good question, and I'm going to say that the questions that you ask your stylist is going to vary depending on what kind of natural you are. So some questions, of course, will be the same. There'll be universal questions. How much do you charge? What's your expertise? Yada, yada, yada. Those things everybody should want to know. But then there are some questions that are going to be asked by a natural who may be on the curly girl method that a natural who's not on the curly girl method would not necessarily ask. For example, they may not care whether they finger detangle or use tools to detangle hair. You see what I'm saying? So so when I answer this question, I am going to basically be coming from all sides of it. I'm going to try to hit as many sides of it as I can. So hopefully I won't be all over the place, but you'll get what you need out of it based on what you're doing with your hair. So hopefully it'll help. So what I do want to say is that the first thing you want to do when you're trying to find a natural hair stylist is ask around. If you have friends who are natural and you notice their hair and it looks good and it's always shaped up nice and or it's colored really nice and their hair seems healthy and so forth, you may want to ask them, who's your stylist? You know, where is she located? Things of that sort, because it's always good to get someone by referral, because you know that you've seen the work, you know that the person that has referred you is happy with the person and so forth. So sometimes that is a better way to find a stylist, is by asking people that you know who does their hair, especially when you love their hair and their hair is thriving. Okay, so I would go that route first. And if for some reason you don't have anybody that's natural, or they're looking for stylists too, and you have to kind of start on your own by looking online, or, you know, calling different, you know, places that you see around town or whatever. If you have to go that route, then I would definitely call and I would ask if they do consultations. Most stylists will do a consultation. They'll either do it over the phone or they'll have you come in for a consultation. Some charge, some do not. So that is a question that you want to ask. Do you do consultations? And if you do, is there a charge? You want to know that off the bat so you're not blindsided once you get into the consultation and then they're asking you for a charge, or you get there and they're asking a charge for it and you're like, she didn't, you know, I didn't know there was a charge. So you always want to ask that. And don't be surprised if there is a charge. A lot of people are charging these days for that, and if you want a good stylist, then you're going to have to pay for a good stylist. I'm not saying that people that don't charge are not good. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying don't be so frugal that you feel like you want the whole gamut, but you don't want to pay for it. Just know that you're probably going to have to pay something. So that's number one. Ask for a consultation. If it were me, I would prefer a consultation face-to-face instead of over the phone. And the reason I say that is because I'm going to be able to find out things face to face that I wouldn't be able to find out over the phone, such as, what does the shop look like? Is it clean? Or is hair all over the floor? Is it real loud in there? So they're playing loud rap music that maybe I don't want to hear, you know, the whole time that I'm in the shop? Or is it more peaceful type, spa type atmosphere? Those are things I'm going to be able to notice when I go in. Is there more than one person in the shop? How was the camaraderie? What products are they using? Sometimes you can see the products up on the shelves as to what they use and things like that. Now, you can find out the products they use over the phone with a phone consultation, because you can just ask that question. But some things that I'm talking about as far as the aesthetics of the place, you won't know unless you go in, okay? You'll also know whether your stylist does your hair from start to finish. Some stylists have shampoo girls or guys or whatever, where they will do your cut or what, but then the cleansing, the conditioning and all that someone else is doing. So, you know, those kind of things you'll be able to find out. So I just prefer to go in. Not only that, they can kind of look at your hair when they're talking to you. You know what I'm saying? They can look at it. They can ask you questions about your hair. You know, you can see their hair. What does their hair look like? I mean, you know, I'm not saying that. I've been to stylists whose hair look a wreck and they're good stylists, so don't get me wrong. But a lot of times you want to go and you want to see a stylist that's getting ready to work on your hair with their hair intact, right? So it's just a lot of things that you can notice when you go in. So I would prefer a face-to-face consultation. That's just me, but whichever way you do it, you want a consultation. What you're going to ask in that consultation are questions such as, what is your area of expertise? And the reason you want to know that is because a lot of stylists do a lot of things. They cut, they color, they twist, they braid. But for the most part, a stylist has an expertise, okay? I'm really good at this. This is what I like to do, and this is what I'm best at. So if you're looking for a really good cut, you don't want to go to a stylist whose expertise is coloring. You see what I'm saying? Or vice versa. You want color, but you're going to go to a stylist whose expertise may be cutting or braiding and not necessarily color, even though they have colored before. So you want to find out what their expertise is, and then you want to find a stylist that is an expert at what you're looking for while you're going to the hairstylist. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you're going for a cut, you want a stylist that their expertise is cutting. When people say, what do she do? That girl can lay some hair out. She can cut hair like crazy. Yes, she can color too, but she can cut. You see what I'm saying? So you want to find out what their expertise is and make sure that it falls in line with what you need at the time that you're going. You also want to find out where they trained. And I say that because a lot of people started out doing hair on their cousins, on their aunts, in their kitchen, whatever, which is all fine and good. Especially now people are doing hair in their homes. So you go to someone's home and you really don't know. You don't see a plaque up on the wall saying that they are a licensed cosmetologist. So you want to know, where did you train? Are you a licensed cosmetologist? Okay. And if they are, they should have it up somewhere where you can see it, because you want to make sure you have someone who is licensed doing your hair. So you definitely want to ask that question. Another question that you want to ask, which is across the gamut, is do you have a portfolio? Do you have some place where I can see your work? Some people may have it in a book. A lot of times, because a lot of people are doing things on the computer, they will have a website, some type of social media that shows their people's hair that they've done. So they should be able to send you somewhere to see their work. If they don't have something like that, then I would be leery. I would be leery if someone cannot show me pictures, photos, a website, something of where they have done hair and I can see how they cut, how they color, how they braid, how they twist, how they lock, whatever it is you're going for. So you definitely want to see if they have a portfolio. Another question that you'll want to ask your hairstylist is, what products do you use? Especially if you're not going into the shop, you want to ask that question over the phone. And if you're going to the shop, you still want to ask that question, because just because there's certain products on the wall don't mean that they use those particular products. So you want to know, what products do you use? And the reason I say that is because you know your hair better than anybody. So if someone uses a product, I'm just gonna throw out a name. If someone uses Shea Moisture, but you know that you've tried Shea Moisture on numerous occasions, different lines, and it doesn't work for you, then you may not want to use have her use those products on your hair. You see what I'm saying? Or Diva Curl. After this whole debacle with Diva Curl, this is what they're using. You may opt not to use Diva Curl because you don't want to take the chance of your hair coming out, whether it's true or bad. I'm just saying, whether it's true or not, you don't want to take the chance. So you want to know what products they use. Then you want to follow up with, if it's a product that you don't necessarily like, are they open to you bringing your own products and them using your products on your hair? That is an option. And I know people are like, I don't want them using my products. I didn't pay for those, and they ain't gonna change the price and all this. I understand that. That's all fine and good. They may change the price, they may not, most likely not. But the thing is these products work for your hair. So if you want to get the best experience, then you may want to eat that cost of those products, versus them putting products in your hair that does not work, that damage your hair, and then you got to come home and wash those products out of your hair anyway. So you kind of got to weigh it. So you definitely want to know what products that they use, especially if you're on the curly girl method, because if they're using products with silicones in it, you want to know that, right? If they're using products with parabens and chemicals in it, you want to know that if you're on the curly girl method. So that's a question that I would definitely ask. Another question that I would ask is, going back to the curly girl method, do you use tools, or do you finger detangle? My hair is curly, so that's a question that I'm going to ask. I'm not necessarily on the curly girl method anymore. When I first started my hair journey, I tried to do the curly girl method, did it for a while. I'm not necessarily on it now. I'm more modified because I do use tools. Sometimes I prefer my fingers, but I do use tools. But when I go in, when I went into a shop one time, I asked that. I wanted them to finger detangle my hair. I did not want them to use tools on my hair at the time. I definitely didn't want them to flat iron my hair to give me a cut, or blow dry my hair to give me a cut. I didn't want any heat on it. So those are questions that you're going to need to ask. Do you use tools to detangle, or do you finger detangle? Do you cut dry curly hair, or do you prefer to cut on wet hair? Do you straighten the hair before you cut it, or do you cut it in a curly state? These are questions that you want to ask depending on how you wear your hair, what type of curly girl you are, and so forth. If you're just a natural and that's not really important to you, then it may not be a question. You may not care if your hair is cut straight, dry, whatever. If you're getting locks or something like that, you probably are not getting your hair cut, so it may not matter to you, right? But for some people it will matter. So for those people that it matters to, those are questions that you want to ask. You also want to make sure that you ask about their pricing, because some people have pricing set, but then once you get in the chair, they'll change. So for instance, I've talked to them on the phone. They said it's going to be this. I go in, they see my hair. I'm 4C. I'm not 4C, but I'm using this as an example. I'm 4C, and now they want to charge me more because 4C is more difficult. Or, my hair is waist length, and they didn't think to ask that question. They thought maybe it was shoulder length, but now they find out it's waist length, so they want to charge more because my hair is longer or whatever. So you want to know, what are the prices? Do the prices change depending upon what type hair you have, how long your hair is, things of that sort. Those are questions that I want to know up front. I don't want to get in there thinking it's going to cost me $60, $80 or whatever, and then I get out of there and I had to pay $120 because they found out my hair was longer or more coarse than they thought, right? So you definitely want to ask those questions. You actually want to ask what other services they provide. So you may go in for a cut, but yeah, one day you may want a color, or one day you may want braids for your vacation or whatever. Do they provide those other services as well? If they don't, can they recommend someone else in the shop that does? So do they mind sharing customers? So if you know that you love her for cutting, but you want to get braids because you're going to go on vacation, but she doesn't really do braids, is she okay with you going to the person sitting in the chair next to her that does braids? I'm just saying, some people are uncomfortable with that. Some clients are uncomfortable asking and doing that because they want to be loyal to their person, and some stylists are uncomfortable with it. But then there are stylists that's like, no, yeah, go to her for braids, honey, she'll hook you up. Come to me for a cut. You know, it's all in the family, they good friends, and it's not a big deal. But that's something that you need to find out when you're going to a stylist. Unless you're going to go to a stylist over here for cutting, then you got to find a whole new stylist over on another side of town to do, you know, your color or your twist or your locks or whatever you want done when you want them done. So that may be a question that you want to ask. You definitely want to know what their hours of operation are. Sorry guys, ran out of space. So you definitely want to know what their hours of operation are to make sure it fits in your schedule. Do they have late hours, so when you get off work you can go in? Do they have weekend hours? Things of that sort. You definitely want to know the best way to schedule an appointment with them. Is it online? Is it calling? Is it texting? You know, what is the best way to do that? And another thing you want to ask is for references. I know a lot of times if they have a website, they're going to have pictures out there. They're going to have testimonials out there. They may have a few reviews or something like that out there. That's all fine and good. But I would ask for references as well. You may be able to get information out of references that you don't get online. So a lot of times people will say, oh, she did my hair, she was fabulous, I loved it, or whatever. But that doesn't answer a specific question that you may have that you want to ask a reference. You see what I'm saying? So I would definitely ask for references if they have them. And especially if they don't have a portfolio, some type of website or something like that, they just starting out, whatever, I would ask for references. So yeah, those are the main questions that I would ask, no matter whether you're curly girl friendly or you're not, whether you're going for braids or whatever. I definitely would be asking, you know, how long have you been braiding? How long have you been doing hair? Things of that sort. What type of hair do you use? If there's a certain type of hair that you like when you get your hair braided or twisted or whatever, you may want to ask that question. What type of hair do you use? Maybe you prefer human hair, but they use synthetic, or vice versa, whatever. So those definitely are questions that you want to ask to make sure it falls into with what you like for your hair, and it doesn't give you any type of irritation on your scalp and things of that sort. But yeah, I'm sure there are so many questions that you can ask, but these are questions to start with. These are questions that's going to give you a pretty good idea as to whether or not this is a good fit for you, right? So definitely start there. If you're going in for a certain cut, I would definitely take a picture of what you want the cut to look like and show them the picture. And I would definitely ask them if they thought that that cut would work for your face frame, for your hair type and things of that sort. A good beautician is going to be able to look at a picture and look at your hair and look at your face and see if this hairstyle would look best or work best for you. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're taking a picture of someone with a round face and they got a nice round cut, but then your face is oblong and you want that same round cut, it may not look the same on you as it does in that photo. Things of that sort. So sometimes you have to trust your beautician to tell you, yeah, this may not work with your hair type. Her hair is a little bit more flowy, so it's going to give a certain look where your hair is maybe a little bit tighter, or maybe your hair is real flowy and her hair is tighter. Sometimes the tighter the hair, the better fro you're going to get. So if your hair is thin and a little flowy, your hair may not stand up like it does in that picture with that fro. These are just examples that I'm saying. So make sure you always take a photo, and then make sure you ask the question, do you think this is, I would be able to pull this off? Can you do this cut? Is it for my facial shape and things of that sort? And then to piggyback off of that, if she, oh yeah, you can do that or whatever, then your next question needs to be, what is the upkeep for this particular hairstyle? Because a lot of times we see a hairstyle, we get it, and then we're like, ooh, this is nice. Oh, and then we get home and we sleep on it, and the next day it's like, okay, I don't know what to do to get my hair back in the shape that it was in. How should I have slept on it last night? How do I curl it to get it back in this shape? Or how do I pick it? Or what products should I use? What are the best products? You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going? So if you're gonna go get some fancy style, you need to make sure that you know how to preserve it at night and get that same look in the morning. So you need to make sure you ask your stylist, what products are best for this style? What do I need to do for the upkeep? What is how much maintenance is on it? Because you'll get a style and be like, why did I get this? Because now I got to come every 2 weeks to the hairstylist to get this shade, because I got this shaved in back, and now I got to keep getting it lined up every 2 weeks. I didn't want all that maintenance. I just wanted a cute style, you see? So those are things you need to know as well. Now I'm kind of getting off the tangent, talking about hair, but I think I hit on most of the questions that you should ask a stylist before you let them style your hair. If I missed anything, guys, leave it in the comment section below. We're here to help each other. So some of you who have already been to stylists, some of you who are looking at me who may be stylists, and you got tidbits to add it in the comment section below, please. So everyone will see it and everyone will know, and it can help everyone, and it'll help me as well, because I'm sure I forgot some stuff. I'm sure there's other things that needs to be asked, or can be asked or whatever. I'm just trying to touch on the most common questions. So I could definitely have missed something. But anyway, yeah, I thought that was a very good question. And I'm in the midst of looking for a stylist now. I'm in Indiana, Indianapolis metropolitan area. If any of you live in the area and you have a really good natural hair stylist that you can refer me to, let me know. Let me know. Put it in the comment section below. I'd love to know, because I do need to get a shape up, and it can help someone. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. And until next time, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.